The start of 2025 brought a fragile hope that the war in Ukraine might finally end. Headlines spoke of war fatigue and possible ceasefires, while diplomats hinted at peace talks. But this optimism was a comforting illusion, masking the reality on the ground. The world's desire for normalcy clouded judgment. The winter lull was misread as progress, not a tactical pause. The core reasons for war, Russia's aim to destroy a sovereign Ukraine, and Ukraine's fight for survival, remained unresolved. These were not issues for easy compromise. The hope for a swift conclusion was a mirage. Both sides were preparing for a longer, more determined conflict. As winter melted into spring, renewed offensives shattered illusions of peace. The world was forced to confront the hard truth. Wishing for peace is not the same as creating it. The false dawn faded, replaced by the grim reality of a prolonged struggle. The absence of peace in early 2025 was no accident. It reflected the absolute stakes for both Russia and Ukraine. For Russia, the war is about imperial dominance and regime survival for Ukraine. It's a fight for national existence. Neither side can accept defeat without risking everything. Ukrainian society, scarred by atrocities, remains united in resistance. Surrender would mean erasure. The conflict is irreconcilable. Russia seeks Ukraine's destruction. Ukraine seeks freedom. Any ceasefire is seen as a temporary pause, not a solution. The war has become a brutal contest of endurance whose society can withstand more. Russia bets on outlasting Ukraine, and the West Ukraine bets on resilience and allied support. The war is not just about territory, but a battle of wills. Lasting peace is impossible until one side can no longer fight. Russia's image of strength hides deep military and economic weaknesses. Its army relies on outdated Soviet hardware, with losses forcing it to deploy decades-old tanks. The war economy drains resources from vital sectors, causing labor shortages and a crippling brain drain. Russia's future is mortgaged for short-term war gains, making it ever more fragile. Ukraine, by contrast, adapts quickly, using Western technology to inflict disproportionate losses. With steady support, Ukraine could target Russia's logistics and command centers, undermining its occupation. Russia's war effort depends on oil money, imported components, and public apathy, each a pressure point. The key is not matching Russia tank for tank, but exploiting its vulnerabilities. Strategic aid can make the war unsustainable for the Kremlin. Russia's weaknesses are real, and can be decisively exploited. Western support for Ukraine has been marked by hesitation and delay. Critical weapons were withheld out of fear, giving Russia time to adapt and prolong the war. This piecemeal approach favors Russia's war of attrition. The fear of escalation has made the war longer and bloodier. A decisive strategy, aimed at Ukrainian victory, is the fastest path to peace. The West must shift from managing the conflict to ending it on Ukraine's terms. Military aid should be accelerated and expanded, giving Ukraine a decisive edge. Political commitment must be clear, whatever it takes for Ukrainian victory. This would shatter Kremlin hopes of outlasting Western resolve. A strategy of victory is not reckless, it's responsible. The West holds a powerful tool, $300 billion in frozen Russian assets. These funds have sat idle, mired in legal debate, while Ukraine fights for survival. It's time to seize the principle and use it for Ukraine's defense and reconstruction. This is a moral and strategic imperative. Russia's aggression justifies extraordinary measures. Using these assets would provide stable funding for weapons, ammunition, and rebuilding. It would also send a clear message. Aggression has direct, devastating costs. For Moscow, it would be an economic and psychological blow, undermining Putin's narrative. Turning Russia's own wealth against it would shift the war's balance more than months of sanctions. This single act could transform Ukraine's prospects. To end the war, Russia must be starved of the resources fueling its aggression. Energy exports and access to global finance remain its lifelines. Sanctions have been too weak, with loopholes allowing Russia to earn billions from oil and gas. The oil price cap must be lowered and strictly enforced, targeting all violators. The West must accelerate its transition away from Russian energy. Every dollar funds the war. Russia's banking sector must be fully cut off from SWIFT and global finance, closing all back doors. These measures would cripple Russia's ability to pay for imports and sustain its war economy. Stronger economic pressure complements military aid, attacking the foundation of Russia's war effort. A full economic blockade is now a necessary step. Economic power can help end the war without firing a shot. Russia's war is sustained by support from Iran, North Korea, and especially China. These allies provide drones, artillery, and critical technology, helping Russia bypass sanctions. The West must confront this axis with secondary sanctions. Any company aiding Russia should be cut off from Western markets. The choice must be clear: do business with Russia or the West, not both. This pressure would force China and others to reconsider their support. Combining military, economic, and diplomatic strategies is the path to Ukrainian victory. Helping Ukraine win is the surest way to restore peace and stability in Europe. Only a decisive Ukrainian victory can deter future aggression and uphold international law. A strong, independent Ukraine integrated with the West is the best defense against Russian imperialism. Ukraine's victory depends on the clarity and commitment of its allies.